Hello, welcome to Fresh New Wine. Listen, do you think we believe in the same God, all of us? Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindus, people, atheists, whoever. Do we all believe in the same God? I'm basically going to deal with those with Christian, or those who don't claim to be, or this sounds like something we need to discuss. Do we all believe in the same God? I'll be right back.
You can do it. Don't stop. Ed Montgomery. Come on. A new way of thinking. Transform your mind. Straight from the vine. Fresh new wine.
Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery, aka Dr. Ed. Thank you for joining us for Fresh New Wine. What I do is I deconstruct scriptures that have been used by colonizers in order to be used to gain advantage over other people. And then I take the bulldozer and bulldoze away the junk, sweep up the foundation, and then begin to reimagine and reconstruct slowly but surely in a way that we're able to see what we're doing, to read what scriptures are saying, to see what things are happening, the realness of it. You'd be surprised how we just allow things to build up and religion to build up, and we really don't believe half the things that we think we do. I'll give you a quick example. What happened with Adam and Eve? People say Adam and Eve, the first man and woman in the Bible. But then when they had two children, Cain and Abel, all of a sudden it says that Cain did something bad, killed his brother, and then God got him. And then it says, and Cain went away and married a woman in the place called the land of Nod. Now, if Adam and Eve were the only two people on the earth, the first couple, and Cain and Abel were the first children, then who did Cain marry? You say, yeah, I've had people ask me that question, but have you ever thought about it? Did you ever think deep about it? No, you know something about like that is, you can't answer it, so you just kind of let it go, didn't you? Well, that's what I do. I come in and deal with stuff that people have let go, and I bring it back, and we are going to deconstruct the pieces and then build on a stronger foundation. Hit that like button. Stay right here with me. Comments, where are you located? If you're in the city of Houston, great. If you're out of the city of Houston, let me know what city you're watching this from. If you're out of the state of Texas, where you're watching us from. And if you're out of the state, out of the country of the United States, let me know what city you are in. Are you in South America? Are you in England? Where are you? Let me know where you're watching from. Now, I call this a discussion more than anything because first of all, we have to realize what the Bible is. We talk about this on our show all the time, that the Bible is something that flows. The Bible is a book. Actually, it is a compilation of 66 books in a library. 39 books in what they call an Old Testament, which the people who wrote it, they don't call it Old Testament. It's called to them their Talmud or their particular Bible. It is a Jewish origin. That's where it comes from. Then there's 27 books in what is called the New Testament, which some people sat down back around 325 Common Era CE and decided these are the books we're going to put into the New Testament. That's right. Some bishops and a bunch of people sat down and other bishops and said, this is what is going to go in what we call the canon of the Bible. Why did they do it? Nobody knows. Why did they use those and not use some of the other lost books of the Bible? Nobody knows, because they didn't like the doctrine of some of the things. But They decided there was supposed to be a book of the Bible called the Shepherd of Hermes that would have been in the place of Revelation. So Revelation was actually too harsh. They didn't really want it, but it slipped in there somehow, and we didn't get the other one, which sometimes we find in the Catholic Bible or the Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox Bible. Amazing how you can find things. Well, anyway, so you know these things are movable. Books of the Bible are movable and interchangeable. Every Bible does not have 66 books. The majority of what we got out in the world, between your Catholics and your Protestants, but that's the way that is. But that does not mean there are not other sources or things that we can read. What they tell us, or the hierarchy says, those are horrible, those are counterfeits. Well, let's go to the original. Oh, that's right. We do not have any original text of the Bible. We have original copies of copies of copies of copies. Right. So what we do, you realize what the Bible is. It is not a book of order and a book of rules. It is not a chronological history. The Bible is wisdom, Sophia. The Bible is the place you go as a guide. You open it, you read it, and your goal is to allow the inner spirit of yourself to speak to you, the God in you to begin to speak to you as you read and open it up, and as you ask questions. What does this mean? What is this saying to me? What is happening in my life that makes this relevant to me? That's what the Bible is. Now that we understand that, now let's go in and look at certain things. Do we all believe in the same God? Now, I would like to think that we all would come to the conclusion of whatever God is, that we all are connected to the same being. Actually, we are. In a way, we actually disconnect ourselves from God rather than trying to connect to the real God. We disconnect ourselves by trying to create a God of our own thought process. Because nobody really knows what God is. Now, and I'm going to give you another little secret. Nobody really knows God's name. Exodus chapter 3, verse 10. Well, it might be around verse 10, but I know it starts in chapter 3. You can look it up and go on down the scriptures. One of the things that it asks is, Moses is talking to God on a mountaintop in the burning bush. You've heard the story. And Moses asked the question, what is God's name? And God says, I am that I am. In other words, my name, I'm who I am. I'm what I am. See, when we ask someone their name, they will tell us John, Joe, Sam, Sally, Louis. We have those kind of names. We give them the surname. We give them the name that our parents gave us, either our first name or maybe our first and last name, but we give them what someone else named us. That's why the information is very interesting when we understand about this thing about God's name. Listen, take a moment. I'll be right back. I know I'm not supposed to be interrupting right here, but remember, myalc.org. That's myalc.org. And you can also give at 713-742-2035. You can use your text to give or use your app. If you're on the app, you can go right to that donate button and it won't change anything. You say, why in the world would you break my concentration? I'm sorry, but I wanted you to remember, because you know what? Just like there's a break in here, there's also going to be a break through in your life. I believe that. Now, let's go. Who is God? That's what we started off talking about. Do we believe in the same God? Do we think the same God? Do we acknowledge the same God? If we even believe in a God, or there is a God, or the God that we think exists. And as I said in the last clip, the first thing that God told Moses when he asked him, what is his name? Moses says, I am that I am, which means that what does the word name means? The word name does not mean what did my mother call me or what did my father put on my birth certificate. Name in the Bible, whenever you see it, means what is your character? What were you like? What were the circumstances around your birth? Were they happy circumstances? Sometimes they would name children when they were happy circumstances. Sometimes they were sorrowful circumstances and they would name their children sorrowful things. Or sometimes there were sorrowful circumstances and they would name their children joyful things in order to counteract the sorrowful times. In other words, a name would always mean something. Peter, stone, or Simon, stone, Peter, rock. All of these names mean something. Jesus' name was not Jesus. If you were to call Jesus on the street and say, hey, Jesus, he would not turn around because his name was Yeshua. That was not his name. Jesus is the Greek rendition of Jesus. This is how we understand. It means character. It means Jesus means salvation. It means the touch of God. It means all of these things. God is with us, Emmanuel, things of that sort. So the bottom line is God is whatever we see, how we sense God to be. Is God love to you? Is God joy? Is God peace? Now, here's where I'm going to go today because I don't have the time to go down a whole list of, whether you believe in this God or that God or this God. One thing I do know, that if your God is not a God of love, if you don't love people, you're going to have a problem with loving and being, I shouldn't say being loved by God. As a matter of fact, we love God because God first loved us. But how can you love your brother who you see every day? Or how can you say you love God whom you've never seen and love your brother and not love your brother whom you see every day? By the time you hear this, there was a statement made by an official in our White House that made a statement that if by a certain time he did not get an answer, that he would wipe or possibly wipe the entire civilization off of the map. In other words, kill an entire civilization. And then there are people who are around him who actually says, and he's doing it in the name of God. This is what God wants us to do, to kill those who do not line up with the way we think God ought to be. This is very dangerous. It is so dangerous that sometimes you got to stop and you got to push back on it. Who in the world has the belief that they can wipe out a civilization? To go back, I don't care what you think that civilization is, but to wipe out the memory as well as the past and the present and the future of a group of people. If they feel they can do it to somebody other than they are, I wonder what they would do to people in their own country who look different than they look, or who are other, or who don't carry the Christian name like they carry Christian name. Evidently, the word Christian means something different. That's one of the reasons I tell people I'm a follower of Jesus Christ and his teachings. And the reason I am is because to say I'm a Christian, I can say it to myself because I have a definition of Christian. But now we have so many definitions of Christian and believers and things of that sort that What in the world are we? Maybe we got to go back to what God told Moses. I am who I am. I am what I am. Are you a Christian? I am what I am. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ and his teachings. Now, if you want to judge me by your definition of what you think a Christian be or ought to be or a believer ought to be, then that's your definition. But I think I'm tired of allowing myself to be defined by what someone else thinks or gives the definition of. I'm tired of being defined by, as a Christian, by your definition of being Christian or your definition of being a believer. As long as that's the way, as long as I'm like that, I'll always be under the thumb of someone. Free yourself. Open up your mind. Get free. No, we may not all believe in the same God, but we can all make a connection to that Creator if you're on the right path. Got me? All right. There. Where do we come from? What's our purpose? Whatever it is on the verge of happening for your life. But we make it happen for our lives by making it happen for others. This is a platform where we speak, where we talk, where we educate. It is history. It is spirituality. All of these things we do, but in order to make the lives of other people better by letting them know they are better inside when other people are telling them they are not. Here's what you can do to help. Take a moment and you can send on your text just a small gift. I shouldn't say small because those gifts are big when they all come together. $7, the number of completion. $8, the number new beginnings of new beginnings. $9, symbolic of foundation. And $10 of something great is about to happen, like in 2026. 713-742-2035. That's our text to give. Or you can use myalc.org. myalc.org. That right there, hit that donate button. And I promise you one thing, no matter what you give, you will remember it inside of you. And when something comes back to you, you will say to yourself, I know where that came from. I gave my love away. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash it, crash it.